JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 1st of July 2020, so yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to kind of check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the German DAX, just to see how everything's kind of getting along. As you can see, the index is currently trading slightly in the red. Now it did open up a little bit higher, but drifted back down, tested the 21-day EMA and kind of rebounded from that area and pushed back to the upside. Still, I'll stick to the same idea that we are currently a little, let's say, a bit, maybe from the very short-term perspective, a little bit neutral, but overall the index continues to balance above the short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 19th of March, and in a way, as long as this upside line remains intact, then yes, there is still a possibility for this one to move higher. But again, for now, from the very short-term perspective, yes, we are still neutral because it's kind of stuck in between these two levels. Roughly between the 11,957 here on the downside and the 12,484 on the upside. So we're, for now, like I said, we'll continue observing the price action. Now then, jumping into another index, and this one here is the Nasdaq 100. So yesterday the Nasdaq pushed nicely to the upside, just kind of fell shy of a few points from kind of a few points of reaching, well, maybe not really actually a few points, but it came close to this all-time high figure again, which is currently at around 10,307 territory. But probably the most important and the most interesting, where the index kind of ended the day, it ended bang on the high. On the high of, and let me just quickly mark this one on the chart, the high of the 10th of June, and as you can see, yep, this is it kind of ended the day just bang on that level. So for now, of course, this kind of this kind of keeps us a little bit cautious, because don't get me wrong, on one hand we do have an index which is let's say maybe a little bit overstretched here to the upside. However, as long as it's kind of still kind of trading above the 21-day EMA, to be honest, there is still potential for this one to push higher. And if we look at the cash index, to be honest, right now we can see that the price is currently balancing at the same level at where it closed yesterday. So basically this kind of also kind of increases the possibility for this one to move higher, given that even the cash index is still holding on to this area. So of course, if it does push further north, then the target for us for now will be the highest point of June, near the 10,307 zone, which is also the all-time high. But if that gets broken, then yes, of course, the index will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and well, in that case, the sky is the limit for this index. And I mean, we could start maybe looking at some nice beautiful numbers like 10,500 zone, but again, we'll not speculate on this one too much. First, we want to see how it's going to perform today and how it's going to be trading, because like I said, yesterday it closed at this bang on this high of the 10th of June. So yep, let's see if the index doesn't fall back below it. If it does start falling below that area, then don't get me wrong, there is still a possibility for the bulls to step in here, not only near this 21-day EMA, but also if we draw an upside support line here. Let me just quickly put this one on the chart, and this one's taken from the low of the 21st of April. So in a way, still there's a chance for the bulls to kind of step in somewhere around here, somewhere near this upside line. And if this upside line does provide support, then yep, a nice rebound could be possible. But if this upside line starts getting violated, and we see the price falling below the low of the current low of this week near the 9,743 zone, well, I mean, this is where it could turn out to be ugly a little bit for the bears. But again, of course, we're not going to start, let's say, panicking here, because still this could drift lower, could find support somewhere near the 9,489 or 90 level, and then rebound back to the upside. So that's why, like I said, yes, if it does break this upside support line and falls below the 9,743 territory, then of course, a forthcoming lower low would be confirmed, but we're just going to keep it short and simple, and we're just going to drag this one towards the 9,490 zone first. But again, before all this, keep your eyes on this upside support line, because if it does provide support, continue to provide support, then yep, for now we'll remain, let's say, more bullish than bearish. And looking at this picture, as I said, right now, looking at the cash index, it is currently balancing at this level where it has closed yesterday. Gold. So gold is drifting lower today. You can see that it fell back below the 1779 territory. I talked about this one previously. Even though it is kind of showing a bit of weakness right now, still, don't get me wrong, we are still trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 5th of June. So in a way, a possible move lower here, yes, could be possible. But if this upside line does provide support, we could see a nice rebound and a push back to the upside. So still the level that we're keeping an eye on is the highest point of 2012 near the 1795-96 territory. That's the kind of the main target for us right now. But for today, what you could also do is, if we see the daily candle actually staying above the closing and staying above the 1779 territory, then maybe we won't see this kind of larger correction towards this upside line. Maybe we'll just see the commodity kind of reversing earlier towards this 1796-95 territory, and yeah, that would be even better. But again, for now, it is where it is. It is currently below the 1779 territory. So yep, we should not exclude this idea of seeing maybe a bit of a larger correction towards this upside support line, and if it provides and if it continues to hold, then yep, a nice rebound could be possible. In terms of the downside, we would like to wait for a break of this upside line and a drop below the 1748 territory before considering slightly lower levels. WTI oil, here well, to be honest, not much excitement, because the commodity is still kind of moving sideways here a little bit. So on one hand, from the positive side, it is still balancing above the 21-day EMA, so that 21-day EMA continues to provide decent support. However, on the other hand, we are still stuck below the highest point of June near the 41.61, and at the same time we're stuck also below the 200-day EMA. So basically, for now, we cannot really do much, and we're just gonna wait for a clear break either through the 41.61 level here, and if we do see something like that, then yes, this would confirm a forthcoming higher high. Where the next target could be somewhere around here. And let me just put this one on the chart, which is the high of the 3rd of March, and actually also the highest point of March. So, and that's roughly around the 48.64 zone. But in case this starts dropping heavily to the downside and falls below the 21-day EMA and also the 37.10 territory, which is marked by the low of last week, then maybe this commodity could go for a bit of a larger correction to the downside. But again, for now, guys, let's not over speculate on this too much. First, let's wait for that confirmation break. Bitcoin, quickly mentioning of this one, because again, also like with WTI oil, not much excitement here. Previously I talked about this one, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this 9,300 level, which if it gets broken to the downside, yep, could open the path towards slightly lower levels. This is what happened. The Bitcoin drifted lower, found support near the 100-day EMA, as you can see here, and rebounded back to the upside. However, after that, I also reviewed this crypto, and what I was saying that if the crypto struggles to get back above the 9,300 level, then maybe we could see a nice round of selling again, potentially kind of moving towards this 100-day EMA, or even breaking it and pushing further south. And the main target for us right now is around the 8,620 territory, which is marked by the low of the 25th of May and also kind of coincides with the 200-day EMA. So that's why for now, yes, we will continue monitoring this 9,300 level. If it continues to provide decent resistance, then yep, maybe another round of selling could be possible. Now, jumping into a few pairs very quickly, NZDCHF, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but basically, as you can see, the pair continues to respect this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 19th of March, and to be honest, it's no longer a tentative one, because the pair kind of continues to balance above it. It did test again this upside line, but kind of failed to, let's say, stay below it and pushed back up. And yep, for now it seems that it could, there is a chance for this one to kind of push higher. However, keep your eyes on this 200-day EMA, because as you can see here, for example, from around mid-June, this 200-day EMA kind of continues to provide decent resistance, and the pair does overshoot it a few times, but then kind of still closes the daily candle below this area. So that's why we are approaching this 200-day EMA again. So let's see how it's going to perform around it this time, and if it once again fails to move above it and then starts moving lower. Now, because the area here is kind of getting a little bit more into bigger squeeze, I would say, that's why watch out. Maybe we could even actually break this upside line, but again, like I said, that's in the scenario if the pair fails to kind of stay above the 200-day EMA. If it travels nicely to the upside here, then yes, we could consider a possible move towards the highest point of June near the 0.6298 level. GBPUSD, quick update here. So the pair overall still is trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 4th of May. The pair is trying to move lower. Recently, as you can see, we are seeing a bit of correction here. So yesterday we saw this little correction back to the upside. Today the pair continued pushing a little bit higher excuse me, and but it's still struggling with this downside line. So again, probably at this point here we will remain a little bit on the neutral side, or even actually maybe cautiously bearish, because we are very close to this downside line. It's yes, of course, the still the rule remains the same, that as long as this line remains intact, there is still potential for this one to move lower. Now, but given that we're seeing now our oscillators kind of starting to move away from their lows, it seems like that. So maybe there could be a possibility for this one, for this pair to move higher. However, we cannot really talk about any upside yet until we get that break of this downside line. And previously I talked about this level, the 1.8137, but we've of course, If we do see a break of this downside line, then we might reevaluate this, and I might reevaluate this, and I might maybe have a lower potential breakout level here, after which we could consider higher areas. But still, probably the more comfortable for area will remain this 1.8137, because if we do get also a push above this barrier, then we could also see a push above the 21-day EMA, which maybe some bulls could see as a good opportunity to step in, because as you can see here previously, for example, starting off from around mid-April, whenever the pair kind of got close to the 21-day EMA, it failed to overcome it and then reversed back to the downside. So that's why if we would get a nice break above the 21-day EMA, then maybe we could see a nice push a little bit higher. Euro GBP, here the situation is for now working out as I've mentioned before. So basically we are getting that correction lower. However, today we're seeing a nice hold up here near the 0.9020 territory, which I've mentioned previously. So previously it acted as a fantastic area of resistance. Now it's taking the role of support. Basically, there is still a lot of support here for this pair. So not only this 0.9020 territory, but also the 21-day EMA and this upside support line taken from the low the 18th of February. We would need to see a breakthrough all of that before kind of, let's say, we could even start considering slightly lower areas. But for now, as long as it remains above all these support levels that I've just mentioned, then the pair does still have a chance to move back to the upside. And finally, EURUSD, again, not much has changed since the morning analysis. We are still neutral. The pair did move a little bit lower here below the 21-day EMA. However, as you can see, the bulls kind of quickly pushed the rate back above it, and yep, well, the pair is still stuck in this kind of little, well, we cannot really talk about the descending triangle yet, because although it looks like one, but we didn't really have a good touch here of the lower side of the potential figure. So that's why we're gonna, for now, we're gonna still focus on this downside line taken from the high of the 10th of June. So in a way, for now, the fact that yes, on one hand, the pair, from the very short-term perspective, the pair is drifting lower, trading below this downside line, but on the other hand, this 21-day EMA is still providing support and keeping the rate afloat. So we would need to see a drop below the 1.1168 territory in order to aim for lower levels, because such a move would confirm a forthcoming lower low. It would bring the rate below the low of 19th of June, and then yep, maybe further declines could be possible. Until then, we're not really examining the downside here, neither the upside, because for the upside we would need to see first a violation of this downside line, and then ideally a push above the 1.1353 level here, which, as you can see, acted as a fantastic area of resistance. So guys, I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye.